There's really only a few metrics that are critical to understand to give you a pretty good pulse on any given real estate market. I'm Brian Inskip with Surf Homes NC, and in this monthly market update video, I'm going to give you those stats and those numbers and talk about the trends in real estate on Oak Island. So the first thing that we always talk about in a real estate market that people want to know is, what are sales prices doing? Are they up? Are they down? Are they flat? And that's one metric, but it's important to understand all the different key metrics and how they interact with each other. The biggest mistake people make is they'll look at just one metric, and that could actually give you a distorted view of what's actually going on in the market. So talking about the average sales price on Oak Island through the month of March is actually up 10.9% over the prior year. That's very healthy appreciation year over year. It's higher than the average annual appreciation rate for real estate, and we're actually down just 0.3% from the prior month on home sales prices. So that's pretty level as we're starting out the year here through March. The new listings that have hit the market, the rate, this has a direct effect on the amount of supply available in Oak Island, which directly affects pricing as well. So year over year on new listings, we're down 6.5% in the month of March. Over the prior month, we were actually up 0.9%. So again, pretty level on that stat, which means that, you know, we're seeing the rate of new listings kind of level out. We'll be keeping a close eye on that to see if it's going up or down in the coming months. Homes for sale, this number's jumped substantially from the prior year. So over 2022 through the end of March of 2023, we're actually up 41% on homes for sale. That means that there's a lot more homes out there actually available than there were a year ago. So we've built that inventory. That also increased month over month by 4.2% from February through March. Let's talk about pending sales on Oak Island. Year over year, we actually saw a 27.6% decline through March. So that means that there's less homes under contract waiting to close. Now that number is starting to tick upward and actually raised 1.6% from February to March. So that number's looking like it's on the rise. That's not a huge jump, but that's another number that we're going to be keeping a close eye on to see if our inventory is going to decrease or if our inventory is going to start to build. So closed sales on Oak Island is down 27.9%. That's a pretty steep decrease. That's almost a 30% drop in the number of homes that sold in March over the prior March. And that was also down 0.9% from February, which is not a huge decrease, so I'd call that one fairly leveled. So again, that just means there's fewer homes that are selling today. Average days on market, that's up 28.1%. That's another big gain. That means that it's taking the average property longer to sell in the current market than it was a year ago, and that actually increased almost 5% over the prior month of February for 2023. Another key stat that we pay a lot of attention to in real estate is the supply. The months of supply is how this is most often expressed. On Oak Island, the months of supply has actually increased 92.9% year over year. That's a healthy jump, right? 92.9%, and is also up 7.5% month over month from February through March. Now that means that there's more homes on the island, as I mentioned before, but this is a very important stat. How we got into the really aggressive markets that we've seen over the last couple years is when supply got really, really low and you had multiple buyers competing over a specific property. Now we've seen that supply increase. It's still historically low. Until we pass 3 to 4 months worth of supply, it's still considered to be a seller's market. So Oak Island is still in a seller's market. It's just not as bare as it was a year ago. And certain categories in the island, in particular oceanfront properties or intracoastal waterfront properties, those remain at really, really low inventory levels, much less than that average supply of around 3 months right now. All right, this next stat has some really good news for property owners, or if you're thinking about selling a piece of real estate. It's also really important to understand if you're a buyer. So the average percent of list price that a property actually sells for, so you have your asking price, what a seller's advertising the property at for sale, and then you have the final price that it actually closes at. Right now, that's down 0.9% over a year ago at just under 98% of the asking price. And that's also down 0.3% month over month. So while on average sellers are getting a little bit less than what they were asking for a year ago, it's really a nominal percentage. And if you factor in the next stat that I'm going to share with you, you'll see why sellers are still making more money, even though they might be doing a slight bit more negotiation. And of course, this depends on the property, how the property is priced relative to the market. So the average price per square foot, this ties directly into that last stat, that's up 15.2% over a year ago. So that means that 1,000 square foot property that sells today on Oak Island versus a year ago, you could expect that that's going to sell for 15.2% more than it did a year ago. So even though our home sales price had trickled a little bit and leveled out, this average per square foot price is really what's showing you what is the value of real estate on the island right now, and that's a huge increase of 15.2%. It beats the 10% increase in the home sales price from a year ago. So what that means, if you're a property owner, property values are actually up on Oak Island over a year ago. And we did have a dip in there mid-year last year, but right now we're looking really strong. If nothing else, we've leveled off. And that brings us to our dollar volumes closed. So that's the total amount of real estate that is being sold. That was down 20.1% year over year through the month of March, and down 1.2% from the prior month. So we actually saw less real estate selling. The key thing to understand about all these stats I'm sharing with you is these are related to the properties that have actually now closed. So those went under contract 30 to 60 days ago and are reflecting the market back then. So as you look at these stats, you're looking for the trend and where the market might be going over these next 60 days, 30 days, as the market continues forward. And we'll be keeping a close eye on this. I do these market updates every single month. So if you're kicking the idea around of buying a property on Oak Island, maybe it's an investment property, maybe it's a second home, I can't think of a better place to do it. As you can see, we're out here in April. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. But if you're thinking about buying a home on Oak Island, give me a shout. The first step is always really getting an understanding of the part of the market that you would be interested in. And we can talk specifically about that and talk specifically about your needs to help you find the right property, and also make sure that you're informed about the market while you're going through that process. If you're thinking of selling a property on Oak Island, it's a phenomenal opportunity right now to really maximize the value of your investment with values at an all-time high and really easy sales criteria. You know, when these contracts are going right now, sellers really are in a great position to negotiate amazing terms and things like that. But again, it all starts with having a conversation, starting to explore your options, and getting a real clear understanding of what part of the market you fit in and all the relative data for that. So give me a call, give me a text anytime if you want to chat some Oak Island real estate. I look forward to that call, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you follow the next one so that you can stay on top of the Oak Island real estate market. So get out there, grab your beach chair, and have a great day. And if you're new and just starting to explore the Oak Island real estate market or the area in general, be sure to watch my video, Welcome to Oak Island. That's a really great way to get oriented to the different types of real estate on Oak Island, the different sections of the island, and different types of real estate available in those different sections. So just check in the comments below. I've got a link to that video, but that's a great way to help get you oriented to Oak Island real estate.